Imagine working from morning till night, barely having any time to eat, sleep, or relax. Would that make you a smarter and more successful person, or just exhausted and miserable? Well, that's the debate in India right now after some of the country's top business leaders suggested that Indians should work up to 70 hours a week. But is working long hours really the key to making India a more developed nation? Or is it making Indians overworked and burnt out? Let's break this down in simple terms now. It all began when Infosys founder Narayan Murthy said that the young Indians should work 70 hours a week if they want to help India grow. Now, this particular statement immediately sparked a lot of controversy. Some people agreed, saying that hard work is necessary for the success. Others argued that such long hours would ruin your health, family life, and mental peace. The debate didn't stop there. Another business leader, L&T chairman S.N. Subramanyam, took things a step forward, suggesting that the people should work 90 hours a week. If that wasn't shocking enough, he made a very controversial remark saying, "How long can you stare at your wife?" Now, this comment led to massive outrage online, with many people calling it very insensitive and ridiculous. His statement also turned the discussion into larger debate on whether Indians should prioritize the work over personal life and mental well-being. While many Indian business leaders are pushing for extreme working conditions, it raises an important question. Do other countries work this much? Well, a recent study by Dr. Shamika Ravi, an economic advisor to the Indian government, analyzed work hours across different nations. Her research revealed that on average, Indians work 42 hours per week, which is, by the way, less than 70 hours mark, but still quite high as compared to global standards. Other developing countries like Vietnam, China, Malaysia, and Philippines have similar work hours. However, developed nations such as the United States, Germany, and France work significantly less, averaging about 33 hours per week. This data makes one thing very clear. India is already working really hard, but does simply increasing work hours lead to better economic growth? That's the question. Even within India, working hours vary across regions and professions. Some states and territories work significantly more than others. According to the study, people in Daman and Diu work the longest, clocking over 10 hours a day. On the other hand, Goa and Northeast states have shortest work hours, with people working less than 6 hours every single day. Another interesting finding is the difference between urban and rural workers. Urban workers put in around 7.8 hours a day, while rural workers' average work hour is 6.65 hours. Additionally, the public and private sectors show noticeable difference in work hours. Government workers, on an average, works 45 minutes less per day than the private sector employee. One of the most significant disparities is seen in the gender. While men work longer hours in paid jobs, women actually have least amount of free time. Why? Because even though they work fewer hours in formal jobs, they are still responsible for unpaid household works, which adds to their daily workload. Now, this means women are constantly juggling professional and domestic responsibility, making their total working hours, that is paid or unpaid, we calculate together, often higher than that of a man. A key argument made by the supporters of the 70-hour work week is that working longer hours lead to higher earning and economic growth. The study found that 1% increase in working time is linked to a 1.7% increase in per capita income of India. In larger states, this effect is even stronger, with an increase of 3.7% per capita net state domestic product. But does that mean that India will become richer just by working more? The reality is more complicated here. The sector in which a person works also determines how long they work. Let me give you an example. The tertiary and secondary sector, which includes IT, finance, and manufacturing, have longer working hours, while the primary sector, that includes agriculture, generally have shorter working hours. Gujarat leads in the number of people working over 70 hours a week, with 7.21% of the workforce falling into this category. while Bihar has the lowest percentage at just 1.05%. This shows how work culture varies differently across the states. Now comes the real question. Does working more make Indians smarter or dumber? Some argue that working 70 hours a week will help India grow faster, create more wealth, and make Indians more successful. The idea is that more working hours means more productivity, more income, and ultimately a stronger economy. But there's another side to this argument. Critics say that working excessively does not always mean working efficiently. In fact, overworking can reduce creativity, increase stress, cause health problems, and make people less productive in the long run. Now, many developed countries have shown that working fewer hours but working smarter leads to better results. Germany, the Netherlands, and other countries also worked much fewer hours than India, but they have a far high productivity and better work-life balance. So, is India focusing too much on working harder instead of working smarter? This debate brings us to important questions. Do we want India to be hardest working country or the smartest? Should we push for extreme working hours or should we focus on improving efficiency, automation and skill development? After all, if long working hours were the key to success, then developing countries, which often work the longest hours, would be richer than the developed countries. But that's not the case. In the end, 70 hours work week debate focuses us to think about what really matters, working more or working better. What do you think? Should Indians push for longer work hours or is it time to focus on work-life balance and smarter productivity? The answer to this question will define the future of India's workforce.